Hey guys, it's Trina, and today I want to talk about all of the new to me authors that I read this year in 2017. So I'm going to just really quickly tell you the names of all the authors that were new to me this year, and I'll pop up an image of their books that I actually read this year, be it one book or multiple books, so that you guys can see like what it was I read by them. I read 3 new to me authors in the graphic novel and comics genre. I read Marjorie Liu and Sana Takata for the first time this year. The comic team of John Lewis, Andrew Aiden, and Nate Powell were also new to me this year, and so was Cece Bell. With nonfiction, Dale Carnegie and Carrie Fisher were new to me authors this year. In adult fiction, this year I read Ruth Ware, Sylvain Neuvel, Shannon Maguire, Dave Eggers, and Rafael Montez for the first time this year. The new to me YA authors of this year were Alwyn Hamilton, Beth Revis, Jacqueline Woodson, Catherine McGee, Audrey Colthurst, Julia Ember, Emily Barr, Katie Cotugno, Megan Spooner writing solo, Maggie Hall, Heather Demetrios, Mackenzie Lee, and Abigail Haas. And the last 8 authors that I read were all debut authors of this year, and I think all of these were also young adult authors, but they were Natalie C. Anderson, Angie Thomas, Ibi Zoboi, Sandia Menin, Karen M. McManus, Julie Israel, Laura Silverman, and Whitney Gardner. And since I am having to pre-film this before the birth of my son, I am just going to leave a little space here to like insert any other authors that I may have ended up reading by the end of the year before this video actually publishes. So now I want to talk more about who my favorite new authors that I found this year were and which ones that I want to definitely read more by in the future. Absolutely. This year for me, I feel like a defining moment or feeling from this year, my reading year, was discovering Ruth Ware's books for the first time. She currently has 3 books published, and I read all 3 of them this year. And I discovered that I just really enjoy her style of suspense. And I don't think that her mysteries or her plot twists are the best ever. I say this all the time, but she really helped me define what I like in terms of mysteries and thrillers, and the level of suspense that she builds is just something that's very suited to me because she keeps me on the edge of my seat. And after reading all of her books, I feel like I can really pinpoint that in other mysteries that I've read this year of like why maybe things didn't really work out for me. And so I really just appreciate the reading experience I've had with hers. Even though her books aren't my absolute favorite books, I feel like she was kind of a defining author of my reading year in 2017. I definitely want to read more by her. Another kind of defining series of this year has been the Themis Files series by Sylvain Neuvel, so he's definitely a new to me favorite author of 2017. I absolutely fell in love with this series this year, and so like every time people are asking for a recommendation, like this is one of my go-to series that I want to recommend. So he is definitely an author that I'm looking forward to reading more by. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. The same can be said for Shannon Maguire. I have read her Wayward Children series this year, and again have absolutely fallen in love with them, and these are some of the books that I want to recommend the most often. So she is a favorite, definitely want to read more by her. Megan Spooner was a really delightful surprise to me. I have previously read her Starbound trilogy series that she co-wrote with Amy Kaufman, but I'm counting her as new to me because I had never read anything that she had written by herself before this year, and I read her book Hunted, which I really enjoyed. I really liked her writing on its own, and it's always cool, I think, for me at least, to see, do I like this author on their own, or am I only liking them when they're co-writing something? So it was definitely nice to see that I like her stuff on its own, and I really want to read more by her. Heather Demetrios is another one. I read Bad Romance by her, which was just a really hard-hitting, gritty novel. It really spoke to me. This one was about abusive relationships, and I liked the way that she wrote it and the way that she explored and approached that topic. I definitely want to read more by Heather Demetrios in the future. I have gone back and looked at her like backlist books that have previously been published. I can't say that I'm entirely like gripped and interested in all of the ones that she currently has out, but I am looking forward to whatever she writes in the future. Just, you know, it just depends on if these books fit my reading taste, but this is an author that I definitely want to be able to read more by eventually. Mackenzie Lee is another author I definitely want to check out more by. I read The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by her this year, and just the way that she wrote the main character's humor was really entertaining to me. So I would love to see what more she puts out in the future. I know that she's writing more books, like companion novels to this series, so definitely want to be checking those out. I really enjoyed the humor that she was able to put into her book. Abigail Haas is an author that I'm itching to read more by. She wrote Dangerous Girls, which was the first of hers that I read. I think she only has 2 books, and this is a pseudonym, so I don't actually know who this author's other pen name is. The level of suspense and the way that she crafted that suspense and like the arc of it and how she propelled me through the story was something that I really fell in love with, and I want to read more mysteries that have that gripping edge, and like the format of that book just it really worked for me. I definitely want to read more by her. I hope that she does write more mysteries. I do know she has one other suspense novel published under this name, and I can't get my hands on it. My library won't order it. They don't have it. I'm gonna have to track it down somehow, but I definitely want to read more mysteries by her because I really enjoyed just the pacing of it. As for the debut novelists that I read this year who I really want to read whatever they write next, obviously Angie Thomas is a huge one. I think that she was an incredible writer. I loved how she wrote The Hate You Give, just like every little scene. She did so many different types of scenes, from action to, you know, reflection character scenes to really serious scenes. She just wrote so many different elements so well in ways that I really enjoyed reading. So I'm definitely going to be reading her second novel. Cynthia Menin is another one who I definitely want to check out more by her. She's got 2 more books announced, and I really just thought that When Devil Met Rishi was a really cute contemporary romance, and I want to read more by her. And lastly, Whitney Gardner. I really enjoyed Your Welcome Universe. I loved not just her writing, but I liked her characterization, and I really enjoyed like the illustrations that were throughout that book, which she drew herself. Again, this is kind of something that it depends on what the topic of her future books are about, but I really enjoyed her debut. I am looking forward to seeing more by her. So those are my favorite authors out of the 31 new ones that I discovered this year. And that's not to say that the ones I didn't mention had bad books or that I wouldn't read more by them. That's definitely not the case. Like in most of these cases, it's just going to depend on what the next book of theirs is about and if I'm interested in it at the time. So I'm not like writing off the ones that I didn't mention. I just wanted to pick out a few of my favorites to share with you guys. And I would love to know if you guys have discovered any new to you authors this year that you absolutely fell in love with their writing, or if you had any debut novels that you really enjoyed from 2017. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the comments. Bye!